that in spite of our great challenges and even our disagreements and our healthy debates, this extraordinary institution, the People's House, will still be standing strong. Thank you all so much, and God bless America.
All right. Congratulations, Speaker Johnson, I guess. Look, Trump wanted him, and we could not have a situation on Monday, which is January 6th, and that's the day that they recertify or certify the election. Couldn't play games with that. That said, Speaker Johnson has been not perfect, who is, but significantly less than perfect. The security camera footage from January 6th of 2021. Remember this stuff? I got a little glimpse of it on Tucker's show. I got a little glimpse of it on this documentary, maybe that documentary, but not too much, especially when the Horns guy was being escorted around by Capitol Police like he was part of the operation somehow. Totally bizarre. And it's really frustrating that we have not been granted all 40,000 hours of this stuff, as Kevin McCarthy promised us. Remember him? Remember Kevin? Yeah, Kevin McCarthy.
I think the American public should actually see all what happened instead of a report that's written for a political basis.
That's right. That would have been nice. And then the guy who took your job said essentially the same thing, that we all needed to see this footage. In a statement, when I ran for Speaker, I promised to make accessible to the American people that 44,000 hours of video from Capitol Hill security taken on January 6, 2021. Truth and transparency are critical. Next, please. Today, we will begin immediately posting video on a public website and move as quickly as possible to add to the website nearly all of the footage, more than 40,000 hours. Well, we're about 40,000 hours shy of that. We have very, very little footage to see. And why is that? I mean, why haven't we seen it? What's going on? Is he a little bit too protective of the institution? Is he intimidated by the Capitol Police? Again, I'm glad that Speaker Johnson has the job at least through Monday, because the certification of the election is important. I also think it's important to figure out this. Who is the little cop? And why is it that we've been the only ones pointing this out? Who is that cop who's aggressively waving people on to the Hill, Capitol Hill, on January 6th? Why were these police officers just standing there as people came right on in? Hello, welcome to the Capitol. Yes, here you go, right this way. Totally weird, right? And of course, the death of Ashley Babbitt at the hands of Capitol Hill cop Michael Byrd. Just completely and totally indefensible, that shooting, as well as the total lack of curiosity and aggressiveness in holding Officer Byrd accountable. Now Lieutenant Byrd, he got promoted. Oh, and he got a big fat bonus. Adds up to something like $200,000. Yeah, Michael Byrd and a lot of Republicans up there on Capitol Hill, Michael Johnson, a little bit too comfortable with that guy hanging around Congress. I wouldn't want a guy with an itchy trigger finger like that. Something else we've been looking into. Why do those police officers just, and they're their names, they take a coffee break at the critical time? Would you want these cops guarding your township, your village? Because here they go. Well, things are getting a little bit hot. Let's just get out of here. What do you say? Let's go away. Yeah, there they go. All hell breaks loose, and Ashley Babbitt is about a half minute from getting killed at the hands of Michael Byrd. What's up with that? And what's up with these Republicans on Capitol Hill who aren't aggressive in seeking this stuff out? Look at Mike Johnson here. Look at all the perks of power. Everybody, it's like he's a little prince. Everywhere he goes, he's got people hanging all over him. You think he could possibly pull some strings to get Michael Byrd off the police force, or at least put him somewhere else and give him a demotion, not a promotion? Why have power if you can't use it to get rid of a corrupt cop? What's going on up there? The Capitol cops outside the Capitol, they seem to have a lot of pull. Are they intimidating the members of Congress? I think this is a great question. Most members of Congress didn't serve in uniform, and maybe they, I don't know, have a little bit of a complex about that. And after the display during those hearings, what would you have done if you were a member of Congress and this guy shows up and starts yelling at you?
The indifference shown to my colleagues is disgraceful.
I would have said, Fanone, you get the hell out of here. I know that there were no good Republicans on that committee, but something, they let these guys come in and walk all over them. Why is that? Really, what is going on? Why have power if you can't use it to stop a ludicrous situation like this? And now this, please. New Orleans and Las Vegas, and the peculiar rental of cars by two soldiers, one veteran, one active duty soldier. Very strange, lots of conflicting accounts, and now suddenly no more conflict. Everybody knows exactly what happened. Not initially, of course.
We'll be taking over the investigative lead for this event. This is not a terrorist event. What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if it's a viable device or not.
The FBI is the lead investigative agency, and we're investigating this as an attack of terrorism along with our partners.
Really bizarre, and you got to let that sink in. Not a terrorist event, and then it was an attack of terrorism. And how many people were involved in this? Not an attack. Yes, it is an attack of terrorism.
Aggressively running down all of the leads to identify the possible subject's associates. We're working to ensure that there is no further threat. We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
We do not assess at this point that anyone else involved in this attack is involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar, the subject you've already been briefed on.
You've heard about the discrepancies. They're a big deal. It suggests that possibly, just possibly, they were trying to, maybe they were making mistakes, maybe it was innocent, although maybe the FBI is not being straight with us, right? Where would we have gotten the idea that the FBI would not be upfront with the American people? So after those colossal blunders, the FBI did what a lot of federal law enforcement does. They start laying it heavy, laying it on pretty thick about grief and sympathy. Look, when American citizens die in a terrorist attack, the American people, we feel it. But I feel like there's something going on here, like that federal officials use our sympathy and our concern to buy themselves time. They use it as a filler, and they also use it as kind of a little bit of a weapon so we won't ask aggressive questions.
I first, and most importantly, want to send our deepest condolences to the victims of this horrific attack and their loved ones. I went down to the crime scene last night. It is very hard to put into words what it looked like and how difficult it was to see. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the victims of this tragedy and everyone impacted across the country. They remain at the heart of our investigation.
I get that to a point. When you're letting your emotions get in the way, or at least maybe you're using that as an excuse for all of the mistakes that you are so consistently making. I've seen this before, and we're seeing it actually every day. Butler, Pennsylvania. That was one of the most colossal screw-ups in the history of America. What happened after that? How does the Secret Service explain itself when they can't? What do you do? Well, bureaucratic fast-talking, right? All kinds of terminology and, just literally a bureaucratic fast-talker, and then indignation from the acting Secret Service Director, Ron Rao. Did you see that? It's really amazing. How dare you question us? Just like that guy over there, Fanone, on Capitol Hill. There were questions, hey man, are you doing your job? Are you hanging out at ceremonies? Do you remember this? This is a stalling technique, and it's a power play. Watch.
I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that.
I'm asking you,
Congressman.
Were you
the special agent in charge?
To show respect
You were not.
for a Secret Service member that died on 9/11.
How dare you question us? When we were thinking about 9/11 23 years ago, there's something really phony about all this stuff, and it pervades federal law enforcement. It starts at the top, Joe Biden, and, during the campaign, I thought he wanted to be the funeral director-in-chief. All that talk about death, the death of the coronavirus, the death of Beau, he has a death fetish. And I think it's kind of been exploited, and they use it as a weapon against the American people. That's what I think's going on. I also think that when they talk about partnership and working together with our state and local partners, they don't really mean it.
It is our job to be vigilant in the federal government with our state and local partners on behalf of the American public.
State and local law enforcement is so intertwined with today's FBI.
We are working with our partners in state and local law enforcement.
We're working closely with state and local authorities.
I would also like to express my gratitude to our federal, state, and local partners. We rely on these critical relationships, which have developed over decades of daily collaboration.
No, they don't. They wouldn't even let them use their radios. They didn't even treat them with respect. It happened in Butler. It also happened in 9/11, actually. 23 years ago, it was the same situation. Just because you're always talking about partnership and working together, it's like automatic. It doesn't mean anything anymore.
I'd like to express gratitude for everyone that's here today, and especially the partnerships that Sheriff Corrin just highlighted. It's been seamless collaboration between the FBI, ATF, Army, CID, Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department.
The FBI team and our law enforcement partners here are also reviewing hundreds of hours of surveillance and other video from both the French Quarter and other locations.
I want to thank all of our law enforcement partners. You're fabulous, and we appreciate the partnership.
Over 1,000 officers, both in our community neighborhoods as well as on the Strip and downtown, in partnership with all of the other law enforcement agencies.
Some of those guys are great, like the locals in Vegas, but some of them are not so great. And the partnership, the collaboration wasn't there. One agency says one guy was responsible. Another says multiple people were responsible. Just conflict after conflict after conflict. And then it gets leaving, I don't know. Look, the FBI, you only have yourselves to blame. After Russia collusion and all the screw-ups, why did the guy down in New Orleans say that the hostage rescue team is on its way? Now that everybody is dead, the hostage rescue team is on its way.
We've also forward deployed a number of our critical incident response group assets, including members of our hostage rescue team.
The hostage rescue team. I know how that works, right? They show up when, you got bank robbers in the bank and they're going to kill everybody unless they get a bus to the airport and they can fly to Cuba. And you saw the aftermath, right? 14 people dead. Why would you need the hostage rescue team? Is there something else coming down the pike? I don't know. Do they know? I don't know. Maybe is this for the Superdome? I don't know, but it's strange. And it's strange that it was an Army soldier in Vegas on active duty. And it was strange that everybody seems to know that already they were working by themselves after saying that, no, they could have been working with other people.
We do not assess at this point that anyone else involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar, the subject you've already been briefed on.
All right, but just a couple of hours earlier, you said the opposite. Your partner there did. And in Vegas, an awful lot of confidence in not a lot of time.
It's evident that the subject considered, planned, and thoughtfully prepared for this act alone. That's what we believe, and we have no information to the contrary at this point.
Well, let's go through the last couple of FBI directors. Mueller, Comey, and Wray. This is why we can and must be skeptical of what these guys are telling us.
Information. truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.